Okay, so what are the things you're going to learn in fifth module? So these are things like something advanced concept you're going to learn. So module 5 mainly covers about managing state, like about cookies and all those things, session management, all those things you're going to learn. Then followed by jQuery, XML. So in the previous class I explained that is how to execute, how to create the XML file. Okay, so in detail you are going to learn in this chapter, that is XML and web services. Okay, so this is course outcome 5. So what exactly you are going to learn here? Explain the JavaScript framework like jQuery and Backbone, which facilitates developer to focus on core features. Okay, some advanced, even some part of the topics you are going to learn about Ajax also. Okay, so this is a course outcome of module 5, and these are the content you are going to learn. So mainly focusing on managing the state, what are the techniques you need to use for managing the state, and what are the problem of state in web application. Okay, how to pass the information via query string. So this topic we have already discussed with respect to two methods. Then passing information via URL path. Then you will be learning what is cookie, how to create and write the cookies, read the content from the cookies, serialization, then session state, HTML5, web storage, caching, then advanced JavaScript, that is jQuery, followed by you will be learning some concept with respect to Ajax. Okay, and next last chapter, that is 17th chapter, where you will be learning more on XML processing. Okay, how XML data is processed. Then web services, what are the web services, XML processing, JSON. Okay, these are some advanced concept you are going to learn, but not in detail, like the basic concept I am going to explain. Okay, so this module covers chapter number 13, 15, 17. Okay, you just note down selected topics when you are reading, just go through the content, what is there in the syllabus, accordingly you can just start the preparation. So let's start with what is the meaning of. So in this chapter examines this chapter managing state, the chapter number 13, it examines one of the most important question in the web development world, namely how does one page pass information to another page. Okay, so whenever if you are requesting something, so that information requesting whatever the data it is passing, that should be passed to the another request. So how it is taken place, how it is managed, the state information. So this question is sometimes also referred to as a problem of state management in a web application. So that is, how does one page passes the information to the another page. Okay, so this is this method or this statement, we call it as problem of state management in web application. So what is the problem of state in web application, how it is done? Just go in detail about state in web application, how to specify the state in web application. So state management is essential. Okay, whichever the web application you take, state management is essential to any web application, because every web application has information that needs to be preserved from request to request. Okay, when you are making some request, that same information should be passed through the another request, how that exchange of information takes place. So that tells about the state in web application. So here almost all the application needs to process user inputs. So user inputs, input information, output information, okay, and read, write form from the database and other storage media. So these are the operations normally it is included in the web application. Okay, getting the data from user, reading, writing data into the database or to the storage media. These are the common tasks that is done. So here what is the main focus in this chapter with respect to state in web application is how can one can request share information with another request. Okay, how can, this is a state. Okay, what is the solution for this? How can one request share information with the another request. So that is how to manage two requests, how exchange of data takes place between the two requests. So that is the main thing you are going to learn in today's topic. Okay, so that tells about how the state of the web application is maintained. So here web application differs from desktop to desktop application and also the web application. So whatever we are using, the web application is totally different from a desktop application. So how it is different? How it is different? Web application and desktop application. So here, if it is a desktop application, a single user desktop application do not have this challenge. It does not have this challenge. That is, what is the challenge? That is how one request can share the information of another request. So if it is a desktop application, so this question does not arise because the complete information it is stored in a single storage media, or it is stored in the memory. So in that case, it does not require to go for, or it is not facing this problem of sharing the information between the request. But when it comes to the web application, so it is having the problem that there should be some solution how the request is going to share the information with the another request. And here web application and desktop application, it is going to be totally different in this term. So I have diagram to show that. Okay. So before going to that, you can just observe. So unlike the unified single process that is typical desktop application, okay, single unified process means, so it is, you can give example of desktop application. So that is where everything it is stored in the same system and you are performing the operation in the single system. So that is called as desktop application. But in case of web application, consists of series of HTTP disconnected request to the web server, where each request for server page is essentially a request to run a separate program. Okay, for each request it is going to run a separate program. You can just observe that in the diagram. Okay, so this is an example of desktop application and this is an example of browser. Or so here I told it is in case of desktop application, it is a single process that is typically a desktop application. It does not contain any disconnected request. It is, and whatever the data or what information it is stored in a memory, desktop system, in a single storage memory, it is going to store the complete information. But with respect to web server memory, so for each request you can see it is having disconnected communication. Okay, so each disconnected HTTP request to the web server, where each request or server page is essentially a request to run a separate program. You can just see it is having so many processes here. For each request it is having its own process to run and perform the operation. So that is the main difference between the desktop application and also the web application. Here you can understand the complexity. Okay, so the complexity with respect to desktop application and also the web application. So here web server sees only request. HTTP protocol does not, without programming intervention, or distinguish two requests by one source from two requests to the two different resources. Okay, like example for that, that is, you can just observe, if it is in a single system, okay, if it is in a single system, consider there is a user X. So if user X is making multiple requests with respect to desktop application, so it is not going to affect much and that request can be processed easily. But you can just take example of getting requests from multiple users and how it is processed. Okay, so in this case, how exactly it is going to manage these requests. So here HTTP protocol does not provide without program intervention to distinguish the two requests by one source. This is two requests coming from one source, and also two requests from different sources. And this is an example of request getting from two different sources. So this is when you are getting the request from two different resources. So here there are many occasions when we want the web server to connect a request together. Okay, so connect the request together, performing with respect to a single user, it can be done easily. Okay, if it is coming with respect to different users from our different sources, so it requires some mechanism to share the information between the request. Okay, so consider the scenario of a web shopping cart. Example we have here, web shopping cart. Okay, so in this case, the user most certainly wants the server to recognize that request to add an item to the cart. Okay, that is one task. You can just observe. So the first task for this user is add an item to the cart, and the second task is go to checkout and pay the item. So now when it is going for this second task, it is required to get the information from the first request. Okay, otherwise it is not possible to know what are the items are added. Okay, through the first request the items are added into the shopping the cart. Okay, so accordingly the same information should be shared here during the subsequent payment information. Okay, so the first one is here the server to recognize that a request to add an item to the cart and subsequent request to check out and pay for the item in the cart are connected to the same individual. Okay, that means the both the request it is coming from the same person. So that is one case. So we'll go with the another case I have already explained. So there may be possibility the request may come from different sources also. So that is also there. So how in this case, how exactly the information it is going to exchange between these two requests. Okay, if there is no communication of like what are the items are added, then it is not possible to go for a checkout and pay the amount. So that means there should be some way that whatever the request it is made here with respect to adding the items to the cart, okay, and that should be shared with respect to this request. Okay, how request information it is going to exchange. So what is the technique it requires? So that we are going to discuss further. So here in the rest of the remaining topics, we are going to focus on how web developers and how web development environment works together to constraints of HTTP to solve particular problem. Okay, so what is the problem here? So how the HTTP request is going to exchange the information between two requests or between the request. So how does one web page pass information to another page? Okay, this is the question arises. So I am using now the main home page. Okay, so it requires to pass some information to the next page. Okay, some particular option if I have clicked. Okay, to that page how the information is passed. So you are already familiar with some of the method. Based on the method how the information is passed. So that we are going to discuss just in brief once again. What is the mechanisms are available within HTTP to pass information to the server in our request. Okay, you can just give example of you can use get method and post method. Okay, that is query string, how exactly the information is going to exchange using get method and post method. So here we can classify in this chapter mainly using two types. One is we can pass the information using query string. So that's what I told, using get and post method. Okay, here you can just check it. So by this time everybody should be knowing what is the difference between a get and post method. Okay, even in the previous chapter we have discussed about the super global variables, how to access based on the form method. Okay, so if you have not done any programs on this query string, try to do it. Okay, and know the difference between get and post, and you should be knowing when to use get, what are the limitations of get method and what is like advantage of post method. Okay, so these are the like the common thing you should be knowing once you study about the web application or if you are doing any web application development. So next we'll move on to the topic called how we can pass the information. First we'll go with the query string, okay, and second one we'll go with the cookies. First let's go with the query string, that is passing information via query string. So your web pages can pass query string information from browser to the server using one of two methods. Okay, so one of two methods, that is a query string with the URL. Okay, when I use URL, so it's understood that you need to specify the method as get, and query string within HTTP header, that is using post method. Okay, so this is you already familiar, but it is just a refresh class about this, because you should know like how exactly the information is passed. You should know the difference between this query string and cookies. Okay, so cookies, the hands-on with respect to cookies I will be covering in the next class, that is how to create the cookies, how to read and write the cookies, all those things. So today I will be just giving brief introduction about it. Okay, so you can just observe this example. So this is information passing using query string. Okay, depending on the method you are going to specify in the form, okay, the information is passed either through URL or through HTTP header. So do you have any queries with respect to this? Okay, so normally we will not go with if the information to be passed, if it is very lengthy, okay, so large amount of data to be passed, in that case we are not going to use the get method. Or if it is some confidential information, if it is sharing, we are not going to use get method. Okay, because the data whatever it is passed, that is passed through the URL, and you can easily check, the other person, the third person can easily check the confidential information. So for that reason, depending on the requirement, so you should go for get. And also the number of characters passed through the URL, it is limited. Okay, so due to these limitations, depending on your application, either you can go with this get method, so where the information is passed through the URL. You can just see this is called as query string, and this is the name of the file, okay, followed by the values passed. Okay, this is the attribute and the value, ampersand attribute value. Okay, similarly you can just check using post method. Okay, when the user enter all these details, and inside the code, if the method is specified as post and the data it is passed as a query string in the HTTP header. You can just see this is the syntax or the format of HTTP header. In that it is going to pass the query string. Can you see the same information? It is passed through the query string. See, whenever they ask about these query string, you should be able to give the proper example. Okay, just writing this, it's not enough. So depending on the marks, you give the example also. Example, this is with respect to the structure, how exactly the information is passed, but you need to write the code for this. So passing information via URL, passing information from one page to the another page is done by query string, but they have drawback, I told. So that is using get method due to limitation, and also you can able to view the whatever the values it is passed. URLs that can be long and complicated. Okay, so whenever if you are using URL method for passing the information, if it is like it is having some limitations. Okay, the number of characters to be passed through URL, it is having limitation. So in that case, you cannot go for the URL. So while there are some disputes about whether dynamic URL, okay, or you are going to use the static URL. So here dynamic URL indicates, so that is some optimized way of representing the search engine result. So that is, in short, we call it as SEO, search engine result optimization. So you can just check it when you Google, okay, some particular topic, some content if you are searching, you can just observe the links, whatever the links you are going to get. Okay, so those links, either it may be using the dynamic URL, okay, or it may be using some URL rewriting concept. So what is this URL rewriting concept? Okay, so here dynamic URL indicates the query string parameter or pretty essential part of web applications development. So this, whatever we have used till now, that was a static URL. Now to get the better search engine result optimization, so it requires to go for dynamic URL. So how to create the dynamic URL? So how static URL can be converted into a dynamic? So how can we do without them? That is, the answer is to rewrite the dynamic URL into a static one, or from static to dynamic. So this conversion of dynamic URL into static, okay, or static to dynamic, this process we call it as URL rewriting. So why I am moving to URL rewriting? Because I told in the beginning that it is having URL, passing information through URL, it is having some limitations. Okay, so how we can overcome with those drawback or limitations is using URL rewriting. Okay, so here I'll be just explaining in brief how to do the URL rewriting. In the textbook, that is chapter number 19, they have given in detail how to go for URL rewriting. So now before going to that, first understand how it can be done. So here I have one example, you can just see. So I'm just trying to type this information in the Google search. Okay, so you can just type some particular words what you want to search in the URL, not in the URL, in the Google search engine, and whatever the result you are going to get for according to this content. So notice that how top 3 do not use the query string. Okay, so here some of the website, it is using the query string mechanism. Okay, and there are some website, so instead of it will put the relevant information within a folder or file name. Okay, so that is how the URL rewriting takes place in this case. Instead of just passing the information through URL, so the information is put in the particular folder or in the particular file name. Okay, so just go to the example, you can just observe. Okay, the same example I have taken. When you are doing any Google search, you can just check it. These the common things, you can just observe it. Okay, how URL rewriting takes place. Okay, so here I have given some particular word for search. So among this, you can just observe the first three uses this creating the folder or providing the information in a separate folder or in the file name. Okay, so there are some link that is going to pass the information through URL. So among those, you can just observe the first link, this one, this one, this one. Okay, these first 3 links. So this is how the information or the website, the URL information, it comes. When you click on this link, you are going to get the URL address like this. Okay, you can just see there is no information passing here using the URL method. Okay, instead of that, that complete information, whatever they want to pass, that is stored in a file. Okay, it is stored in the form of file. Okay, and you can just, all 3 links are like that only. Okay, whatever the information it want to pass, instead of passing through URL, it is kept in a separate file. So here you can just see, all these things are stored in a separate file. And similarly, here there is one more last link. Okay, so this link where they have passed the information through URL. Okay, the information is passed through the URL. Are you getting what is the meaning of URL rewriting? So these 3, the first 3 comes under URL rewriting. So still I can give better example for this. Okay, so you can just try your, so you can try doing our own rewriting. Okay, when you are implementing your own project, you can just try this, how you can change the URL information passing instead of that in different way by specifying the file name. Okay, the following URL with its query string information. Okay, so this one, so that is www.somedomain.com, some website. Okay, slash followed by, this is a query string, that is the display artist.php followed by, this is a query string. It is passed. Now instead of this, okay, you can rewrite this. If you don't want to pass the information through the URL, you can just rewrite this using a specific file name. So that is, so www.somedomain.com/artist followed by, so this whatever the query string is there, no, so that is specified it as a file name. Okay, it is specified it as a file name. So notice that query string name and value have been turned into path names. Okay, can you see? So display artist, so that is termed as artist here, and artist is equal to 16, that is termed as a file name. Okay, how to do this? There is a procedure for this, I told. So I am not going to explain in detail about how rewriting takes place. So if you have a curiosity, just go to chapter number 19. They have explained step by step how it can be done. Okay, or if else in some other class I will just demonstrate one program about this rewriting. Okay, we'll do one hands-on program how to do this rewriting. Okay, so by doing this, what happens, one could improve this to make it more CEO. What is this CEO stand for? Search engine result optimization. Okay, so this is optimization, how you can efficiently give the result whenever if you make a search for a particular word or particular content. So that is done using in this format. Okay, so where there is no URL passing, instead of that you are going to create a separate file. Are you people are understanding the examples? So here I am just talking about how to pass the information. Okay, so the main focus is on the problem how to solve the passing of information between the request. So one I told using the query string. In query string I am just talking about the passing information through URL, and once again through URL. So due to some limitation, you can enhance the URL mechanism, passing information using URL. So that is the concept of using URL rewriting. So what is the effect of URL rewriting? You can just observe. These are the examples. You should be able to explain what is URL rewriting or how the problem of passing information via query string is solved. Okay, so next we'll move on to how it is done in Apache server, URL rewriting in Apache Linux. So here, depending on the web development platform, there are different ways to implement URL rewriting. Okay, so there are different methods. It is not like only one method. Depending on the type of server, whatever the method it is used, it may be different. It is not going to be the same. So on the web server running Apache, the solution typically involves using mod rewrite. So there will be a predefined functions. Okay, example, you can just observe here. Mod rewrite module uses rule-based rewriting engine that utilizes Perl compatible regular expression to change URLs so that a requested URL can be mapped or redirected to another URL internally. It is going to happen internally. The user cannot understand how it is happening. Only the developer will be knowing how the rewriting takes place. So these are the predefined modules. Using these modules, it is possible to rewrite the URL in Apache server. So they are not given in detail. So just remember this. In some other class, we'll try to do some programs on this, how we can go for rewriting the URL with respect to query string. So next we'll move on to cookies. Okay, we'll move on to cookies. Maybe you are already aware of cookies if you have used or if you have learned in Java. Okay, if not, we'll just focus on with respect to web application, what is the purpose of these cookies, how cookies can be created, how to read and write the cookies. Okay, so what exactly are cookies? So cookies are client-side approach for persisting state information. Okay, so cookies are client-side approach for persisting state information. You need to understand the word state information. It is going to store some state information. So here how it is going to store the value or the information in cookies? So normally it is in the form of name value pairs. It is going to store the information in the form of name value pairs within one or more text files that are managed by the browser. So this information, it is going to be stored in the text file. Okay, so while cookie information is stored and retrieved by the browser, the information in the cookie travels within HTTP header. So here the sites that use the cookie should not depend on their availability of critical features. So the user can delete the cookies or tamper with them. So here first you need to understand like what information it is going to store. So this is a structure. It is going to store the information in the form of name value pairs. But what is the information it is going to store in the text file? So here persistent cookies are stored on the user's device, that is client device. Okay, so user's device means it is client device, to help remember information, settings or preferences or sign on credentials that the user has previously saved. Okay, it is going to store this information. Okay, sign on, that is normally your login ID and the password information can be stored in the cookie. So what is the purpose? So that is storing the information or setting the preferences of the user. What is the use of these things? So this helps to create convenient and faster website experience. Okay, these cookies have expiration, expire date issued to it by the web server. Okay, so whatever the cookies it is created, it will be having the expire date. Okay, how long it should be existing. So this type of cookies is saved on your computer. So when you close it and start it up again, the cookie will still there. Okay, so even if you have signed out or if you have closed the browser, but still the cookie will be stayed out. How long it is going to stay depending on the expiration date. Okay, what is the expire date? It is specified accordingly. It is going to be there. Once it reaches the expire date, then it is going to destroy. Just go with this how do cookies work and also how to create cookies, all those things in the next class. Okay, small code you need to write in PHP. We'll try to execute this code, that is how to create, how to read the cookie values, all those things. It is specifying the expiry date. Okay, so we'll discuss those parts in the next class. So any queries as of now?